I get why they're doing it, but I think there's things that they could change. So if Madam CEO is listening right now and wants to know what real consumers are looking for, we want the biggest engine possible, nothing else on the inside. We want a car that performs. We don't care about all the electronics. We don't care about the latest, greatest traction control and whatever else in ABS. We want a raw driving experience.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wrenches in my top drawer. Hey, what's up, guys? This is MJ100K, and today we got to talk about GM discontinuing the Malibu, and we all know they also are discontinuing the Camaro. So we are going to talk about and discuss, what do we think should happen? Should they make some more of these cars? Should they try something new? We are going to give our opinions and our little wish list to GM, and we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll watch the show. What do you think, Dane?
Oh, they're definitely watching.
Yeah.
They're waiting for our opinion.
Let's look at this article from GM Authority, and I'll put the link in the description if you want to read the whole article. The people have spoken as the end of the current Chevy Malibu sedan in November looms closer by the day. The GM Authority poll about the Malibu's future shows that most of our readership wants the nameplate to continue and to live in a fairly specific form, not as yet another EV crossover. So, Dane, what would you do with the Chevy Malibu if you were the CEO of GM?
Kill it.
Kill it? Well, they're already killing it. Like, what would you do with the next generation? None? You wouldn't make any more?
No, I wouldn't make any more sedans, period. And that's if I'm putting myself in the business owner's shoes. Sedans aren't selling right now. Sports cars, like I said, the Camaro, it's not selling either. What does sell is SUVs, crossovers, and trucks. Those are the big sellers right now. Following the path that Ford laid out, a couple of years ago, where the only car that Ford still produces is the Mustang. Everything else is a crossover or an SUV. And I think GM is seeing the writing on the wall too. The sales and the profit margins just are not there on sedans. So I'm the CEO investing in a crossover and probably more hybrid technology.
All right, hybrid Malibu crossover. That might be good. What about the Camaro? What would you do about that?
I'm sad to see that one go, because it's just so much heritage in that car, and it's really been pretty iconic over so many decades. I personally want to see that live. That car needs to be V8, rear-wheel drive, gasoline. I don't want to see a hybrid cluster of nonsense. Keep it a real sports car like it is. Me as the enthusiast wants to leave it. Keep making it faster. Keep making it handle better. Make it a track weapon. But if it's not selling, you got to change something.
Oh, it's definitely not selling. I looked up the car stats number for this, and let me give you the numbers of how much the Camaro was selling. All right, so here are the Chevy Camaro U.S. sales, and this is on carfigures.com. Only sold 23,000 cars in 2023. That is not good, Dane.
Yeah.
And look, 2020. The last time it sold more than 20,000 something. Well, it was 29 in 2020, but 48 in 2019, 50. Yeah, this is not good.
Yeah,
good numbers.
I get why they're doing it, but I think there's things that they could change. So if Madam CEO is listening right now and wants to know what real consumers are looking for, we want the biggest engine possible and nothing else on the inside. We want a car that performs. We don't care about all the electronics. We don't care about the latest, greatest traction control and whatever else in ABS. We want a raw driving experience.
And we know they're making a new V8. Do you think that'll be fast enough for you?
I'm sure it will. Honestly, the ZL1 version of this Camaro is fast enough the way it is too, but it's unaffordable to someone like me that wants to buy it in that trim. So to get that engine package, you also have to get the nicest interior and all these other bells and whistles that come with it.
So you want like a track version, which is basic but fast.
Right. I want a stripped down, super simple analog gauges. I don't need a big touch screen. I don't need all this extra crap. I don't need leather seats. Just give me some really basic seats with good bolstering, stripped down interior, manual transmission, raw V8 power, rear wheel drive. Let's go.
What would you make it look like? What should you think it should be retro or like I don't
I
know
think
how
it
to make
looks
it look.
great the way it is. I think the current Camaro is the best looking one. That, and then of course the first generation Camaros are right there too. I think it looks great, but it's just if
And
it was like
obviously,
40
it's not
grand,
selling. You can't make it look the same now. It's not selling now.
I don't think it's the way it looks. I don't think that's what's stopping it from selling though. You think
Why
it's
it's not
cosmetic?
selling? People, that design is so stale and dated. I am just tired of
Mm,
looking at it.
mm. Yeah, we're going to war on this one. So
I
you
loved
think
it when it first came out, but it don't look good anymore.
so if they kept everything the way it was, like the drive line, suspension, interior, everything else the way it was, but they changed the way it looked, you think they'd start selling them?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's boring now. I'm tired. You see how the Mustang looks different every few years. It looks different and new and refreshed.
Yeah. It's got some improvements over the last couple, or at least the last revision. It looks pretty good now.
Here, I
But
looked. You want to see the numbers for the Mustang so you can see
yeah, put
what
them side
good
by
numbers
side.
look like?
Yeah,
Hold
are
on.
they
Yeah,
good?
let me bring it up. Let me bring it up. So here are the Mustang
Yeah.
sales, and it's like double the Camaro. In 2023, they sold
Yeah.
50,000, 40,000, 50,000. In 2016, they sold 100,000.
Yeah. So
Goodness,
doing about 50% better.
100.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think you got to keep them fresh. Now, I know that's not always true because the Challenger looks exactly how it looked when it came out, but it still looks good to me. I don't know why.
Yeah. Now, how many Challengers are selling? Because I'm going to guess the Challenger is the lowest out of the three. Maybe not.
Yeah, the Challenger actually. Let me bring that up. Hold on. All right, so here are the Dodge Challenger. 2023 is only 24,000, but before that they were at
Oh,
50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 60,000. A whole bunch of 60,000s. Yeah, they definitely sell better
oh yeah.
than the
So
Camaro.
Camaro's
I
in
think
last place.
it's in last place. They gotta get rid of it. So I don't
That's
know. I
crazy.
guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe you'll get your new V8 in there, and yeah, I guess a hybrid doesn't really work because the car is best in stick shift, and
Yeah.
it's hard to put. Like if you're doing the hybrid powertrain, you're going to have those motor generators in the transmission,
Yeah.
and it's going to be weird trying to put a stick shift. That ain't going to work. So
Right. Yeah.
not
There's
a
always
real.
rumblings there's always rumblings too of bringing back like the old muscle cars, like bringing back the Nova,
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't see that happening though. I think we're just seeing the end of the some of the two-door sports car. I think the Corvette will keep forever as long as they can and keep
Yeah.
that as their halo car like they've always had as their halo car. I think it's just going to be phased out altogether and never to be seen again.
No
But we
more
could be
Camaro.
wrong. The Camaro's been
Well,
phased out before and come back.
it could come back. We'll see. I know they won't change the name on that one. That name's got too much love behind it. I'm gonna give you my predictions, then we'll get out of here.
Let's hear it.
All right, for the Malibu, you know what? I would make a sedan, and I would have it compete with the. I will try to get it to compete with the Honda Accord and the Toyota Camry.
Hmm.
I looked up the numbers for the Accords. They sell about 200,000 a year, sometimes 300,000.
Okay.
For the Camry, they're selling about 300,000 a year, sometimes even 400,000.
Hmm.
So I think there's still a market for sedans, but you really have got to bring it. Like you can't just bring something generic and is made to go right into a rental car agency, like something bland. You got to bring something good. I do like the idea of having it as like a crossover, maybe they could have one sedan version and one crossover version,
Yeah.
like something similar in size to the Cadillac Lyrique, which
Yeah.
people really like. But yeah, I would make it all hybrid. I would hybrid and plug-in hybrid. Like I said before, I think the transmissions in those are so much more durable than regular transmissions. And
Mhm.
what I hope and pray it would do is put a regular engine, made it with the hybrid and not a turbo engine.
Mhm.
The turbo engines, I mean, I know you can get a little bit more miles per gallon out of those, but they just add so much complexity. I want to keep it a little bit simpler. Regular engine hooked up, maybe a 2 liter or a
Mhm.
2.4 liter, made it to a hybrid powertrain. I think we got a winner with that, Dane. What do you think?
Somebody's gonna buy it.
Nobody's going to buy it.
Someone's gonna buy it.
The
Yeah.
Malibu didn't sell that bad anyway. They were selling about 100,000 a year. 2021 they did 40,000, but other
Mhm.
than that, they were getting good numbers with the Malibu. So I think they'll definitely bring the Malibu back. I hope they still call it a Malibu. They got to stop
Mhm.
changing names every 5 seconds, but
It just
yeah.
depends how they bring it back. I feel like the Malibu should have, stayed in the '70s when they were basically the Chevelle or the same trim for the 300s, right? So everybody knows like the name Chevelle, but the Chevelle was never originally the name of the car. It was the 300, and then
Mhm.
Chevelle was a trim package, and so was Malibu.
Oh,
And yeah, so I liked it then, and then once the car started changing a little bit, you get into the G body Malibus, and that was kind of a different thing than what the A body Malibu was, and then it becomes this front wheel drive car, and it's just changed so much over the years. I don't feel like it was is what it was anymore. So
yeah, but I mean, I feel like people are used to the name now. Like, let's just leave
yeah,
the name. We're competing with Honda and Toyota now, so we got to bring it, GM, and get ready to sell some cars.
shoot for number one.
And the Camaro, you know what I would do with the Camaro?
What's that?
I would wait until after the election to make a decision on that because if Biden gets reelected, then I don't know. They could bring back all those mandates for electric cars. They were probably only changing the mandate just for the election. I'm not sure they'll stick with what they said.
Right.
So who knows what they're going to do? If Trump gets in, then they might relax some of the standards and maybe it might be easier to make a V8, with not so great gas mileage and nobody will get upset about it.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I'd wait until after the election to make a decision on going forward with research for those. But those are difficult though, because you got to spend so much more money researching and developing a new sports car than you do a regular sedan. Because it's not just, is it safe? Does it drive? It's got to like drive a certain way. It's got to
Yeah.
handle a certain way. It's got to sound a certain way. They're very particular and they don't sell as many cars as other type of cars. So you got to get it right.
Exactly. Those customers are the most demanding, and they're also the smallest pool of customers. So it's a tough market to be in.
Yeah, it is. But I would definitely keep the V8. And yeah, I guess there's really no way to make that a hybrid properly and still have it be a Camaro. So yeah,
Mhm.
maybe just an old school, super fast V8 with a manual transmission, and we'll see what happens.
I like it.
I like it too. All right. Well, that's what we got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in and have a good one.
Yep. See you guys.